Okay. Hi Drishti, how are you? So I'm just setting up everything and I really want my desk to look clean, but it's pretty hard. Hi Rosa, so nice to see you again, dear. And yeah, I do have Rosa and I have Drishti. Okay, let's see. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to set this thing up and then we're gonna get started with a very nice live video today. And you're gonna hear me twice because something is wrong. Okay. Dang. Ah, come on. Why am I hearing myself twice? Okay. Yeah, this should be good. So, this way I'm not gonna hear myself twice and we can get started with the live video. So, today, hi Drishti, it's pleasure from my side also. So this is going to be one of the last live videos which I'll do for Prima DT call. You all are now for Prima DT call. And hi from Ukraine, that's so good. So I'm applying for Prima DT call and I'm applying for the live category. And I really want to get better at this live thing and I really enjoy doing live videos, okay? So I wanted to make a project and then click a picture and then set a perfect time that, you know, this time I would be live. But seems like in the daytime it is very hard for me to be live because I have a 9 to 5 office and, you know, mornings are generally very busy. So I decided to do an impromptu live video and I have two options. Okay. You can't hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, I'll try to be as loud as I can. Let's see, hopefully I will be loud. So I have two options here, okay? This is first project, which we're gonna build by scratch, okay? And in the center we will be adding lots of beautiful stuff and I can help, like I can actually teach you guys making this one. Or okay, the sound is a little low, so let's do one thing. Let's add earplugs so that I can be a little bit more louder when I speak to the microphone. Okay, so guys, is this better? Okay, I need someone to type and tell me. Okay, Drishti, Rosa, is this better? Okay, perfect. So we're gonna work like this and I'll try to work on my sound system later because everybody is sleeping in the house. I can't be very loud, okay? So the other project is this one, okay? And this is just a $1 IKEA frame and I want to alter this. So you guys decide, you want to alter this project like the $1 IKEA frame or this tray. I do have one tray spare with me right over here, okay? And whichever you guys would like, I would just go forward and alter impromptu. Okay, hi Darshika, so good to see you. Okay, I'm waiting for you guys to actually give me your option, which one you want to alter. Okay, I need you to choose one, Drishti. Come on, tell me. Okay, so tray, frame. Okay, so let's do the tray, okay? And we'll do the frame soon, very soon, for sure. Hi, Angela, so good to see you. So this is the frame which I made and we're gonna do it all over again, okay? So, sorry, tray, yeah. So let's get started with this, and I'm gonna keep this here so that you have a little idea of what I'm going to be making, and hopefully, yeah, the camera angle is perfect. So first step, okay, first step is take some gesso. I always keep my gesso in this ugly green plastic container because it's very convenient, very convenient. So just take your paintbrush, and these paintbrushes are by Prima Marketing, okay? It's by Finnabair, and trust me guys, they are really good quality and they are very cheap, they're not expensive. I mean, I've seen good paintbrushes are like really expensive, and this one is really good quality, and this part is really strong, you know. I bought these paintbrushes from Amazon. This part is so weak that, you know, the paintbrushes, I can't use them for long, okay? So with this paintbrush, just quickly prime it, and you know guys, I'll tell you one very good trick. Don't do the center because you'll be covering it with paper, okay? And so just quickly brush it with some white gesso. And no, Drishti, this is not homemade gesso. So this gesso is basically Prima's white gesso. And what I do is that I just keep it in a black, like I mean, a ugly green container, so that I can dilute it and put water in it as I go. Inside the original jar, it is very hard to keep the gesso. So we are quickly going to cover this, and you don't need to be very perfect because we are going to give it a very nice romantic de-stressed look, right? So it is not supposed to be like perfect. So let's cover this thing up, and yep, this is almost done. Hopefully it will be dry, and if it is not dry, what I'm going to do is just take some tissue. Let me grab some tissue. Just take some tissue because it will take a little while to dry, right? So just dab it with the tissue and you can actually start working on it, okay? So for this tray, I will be using this collection called Love Story by Frank Garcia. He's a beautiful, he's a very beautiful designer. His collections are very shabby chic romantic. And this is a collection. I think it's Cherry Blossom, not Love Story, guys. I'm so sorry. No, actually it's Love Story. I didn't get Cherry Blossom. Yeah. So this is basically a Cherry Blossom collection. And it's very romantic, one of the classic Prima's signature style. And what we will do is we are just going to cover the whole tray, okay, with paper. And I generally like to create uh, a whole pattern. So for that, like, I'll just cover these two with these two sheets, and the middle ones with this one, so that there's a pattern generated in itself, okay? So the flower quality is really good, Drishti. I mean, these are by Prima, and Prima is supposed to be the best. I'm not just saying this because I'm trying to get into the design team. Since 2012, I've been using their flowers, and the quality is really good, like really top notch. There are times, when my flowers get just smushed while I'm moving. Guys, I've moved 5 times in 5 years in US, and the quality of the flowers is so good that, just with a little fluffing of hands, they actually retain their shape back. Like, for example, have a look at this one. It's a little smooshed, okay, but the point of time I'll fluff it, okay, the flower is again going to retain its shape back, and it's really good. The quality is really good, guys. You can actually buy blind, like, you can close your eyes and buy them, like, they're so good, okay? So I do have some paint on my table, and one thing which I always do, and you'll see in my videos, like, I keep on cleaning as I go because I can't create on a dirty table, okay? So I always keep a tissue, and now let's quickly get to it because I don't want to waste your time. And so here I have this, and I'm going to mark it a little bit, okay? And these 4 boxes are not of same sizes. So one size wouldn't go for all. I'll have to mark it down for each one of them, okay? And I have this trimmer which I use. This is by Tim Holtz, and it's one of the best trimmers I've ever bought. I'm very specific about my trimmer. I can't work with the rotary trimmer, the blade one. I want I don't know how to pronounce it. It's gelatin, yeah, gelatin trimmers. Those are the kinds which I can work with, and they cut perfect lines like every time. See, this is a perfect shape. Now let's go forward with the second one, which is going to be here. Okay, and quickly cut this one out. Okay. Okay. And let's take this paper. This is what we decided for the middle ones, and let's cut them out. So for this one, this and this. Okay, so Drishti, the thing with this tray, it's basically embellishment tray. Prima had sold some resin pieces in this particular tray long time back, and I saved these to alter. In India, it's very easy to find. Go to any mithai wala shop, you'll find them. I mean, and with all those creative wedding cards these days, such things are very common to find. I mean, you should not have any trouble finding anything similar to this. So just be creative, like just take the idea of how I'm altering stuff and apply it to any regular item which you have in your household. No, it's not MDF. It's just, a very poorly made wood. I mean, it's not a very good quality. I should not say that, but yeah, it's just a very, average kind of a wood. So here I have my four pieces, and now let's go to the next step. Okay, let's do this. And now, very important, I always tell this. Okay, so for all the newcomers out here who don't want to spend a lot on de-stressings, just buy this color. It's called Gathered Twig, and just buy one of these blenders. Guys, I have 40 of these, 40 of these colors, and never use them, and never ever use them. I end up using this color, or maybe sometimes the light pink one. It's called Tattered something. I'll tell you the name later. And just buy this one. You don't need to buy a lot of de-stressings, okay? This is enough for all the things. Mixed media, definitely this color is enough because this is aged, it's vintage, and it's perfect. So simply go over the edges before you stick them. And now, once this part is done, all I will do is just take my glue, and you can use regular glue. I have this ATJ glider, which is very convenient. I've been using it from years, so I will use it. And you don't need to, you can use school glue. You don't have to worry about, Oh yeah, Drishti, Tattered Rose, yeah, that's the one. Okay, so let's start sticking. This one should go in the center, I think, yeah. And these are the sides. I wish my desk would be more cleaner while I'm making these live videos, but I can't cut the footage. So sorry guys. Okay. And let's paste this one here and this one again in the center, and we will be good. Okay. So now, as you can see, this part is done. We are done with embellishing the inside of the tray. Okay. Now let's add embellishments, flowers, and everything and such. Okay. So now for that, I always cut these die cuts and I keep them, handy. They are by, most of the dies are by Tim Holtz. They're called garden greens, I usually use them and I link them. You can find them in any of my videos, you know, they should be linked because I use them a lot. So I generally end up using that particular shape. And there's another one which I use is, I'm just trying to find, just give me 1 second. Yeah, in this packet. So this one has more of my abstract shades. So Palchin, I just told in the beginning, in India you can easily get it at any mithai wala. This is not MDF, this is just a regular embellishment tray, and just take the idea and try to alter whatever you want in your house, any regular household item, okay? So now for this one, what I'm doing is that this die is like very usable. I'll try my best, guys, to link down where I got this particular die from. It's very old, but I use it the most. So what I will do here is that I'm going to split it in two parts, okay? And one part will go this side and one part will go this side, okay? And before we start that, I have warmed my heat gun, and I am going to put it here like this, okay? Now my heat gun, I usually use this heat gun a lot, but guys, be careful. Like, I have burned myself very badly. Like, I was wearing shorts and my thighs, they kind of stuck and the mark is still there. Yeah, this die cut is really good. I'll definitely try my best to link the die cut below, okay? So now the other part I'm going to do is put it over here, and be careful with the heat gun, guys. Again, I'm telling you, like, I'm queen of burning myself up, okay? And this is done. Now once the die cut is done, we are going to build up here our composition. For that, just take your flowers, and I'm specifically using these romantic flowers by Prima because I want a very nice romantic look and feel of this particular tray. And for in US they're very easy to find, and in India, check out Crafters Corners. They definitely have most of the Prima collection, okay? And we're going to put it over here, something like this, okay? And so you see, like, this whole vine was straight and I twisted it a little. So these little things, they kind of give a very natural look, you know. So make sure you do all this. Like, putting anything straight would never make it look pretty. Like, and the point of time you put these things with a little bit of curve, you know, the whole thing transforms. And this is here. And now what we need next is some chipboard, okay, guys. For chipboard, I need a chipboard, guys. I'm so sorry, I can't find it anywhere over here. My desk is always a mess, but let me get it. It should be here. Oh god, dang, why this has to happen while I'm doing a live video. Okay, so basically what I try to do is I try to make a dimension, you know, I try to give it a dimensional effect using chipboard. So these are some chipboards, and see, you can give dimensional effect with these foam tapes, okay, but they are so expensive. So why not make it on your own, right? So take this, cut it into parts, small parts, and you have a platform. And I just go ahead and I always stick them together, and it gives a very nice raised platform, guys, and it's wonderful. Like, it's amazing. With this platform you can achieve so much of depth, right? So I'm gonna lay all my flowers out here, okay, and I will start composing my entire thing. So let's start with this one, and this one can go from behind, a little peak. And before we stick them, let's take some leaves and foliage, and basically leaves, foliage, and anything which you can use as fillers, you know, it's always good. And cut them pre-hand one day, just make it your die cut cutting day and just cut them so that you're not lazy when you want to actually use them. And I've taken some wool. These are like they're very easily available at any arts and craft shop, and they're called eyelash trim wool. Okay, and you can just cut them, and every little thing which I'm showing right now is going to help you in making very detailed and very depth. Basically, your entire this thing will have a lot of depth with these little things. You know, like for example, this adds a lot of softness. This particular eyelash trim which I'm using right now. Um, that's a little extra. Never put anything extra, guys. Like, I mean, you know, it's always better to have something in less abundance rather than more, such that it looks ugly. I mean, we want pretty things, right? So always make sure you have a balance of things. You don't want to overdo something. And let's add this particular leaf, can go right this, and then let's take this one, and this can go like this. Okay, so I'm going to add glue and some glue over here to stick this up. And for this one, I have such a nice beautiful platform here. I'm going to hide it a little behind this flower such that it gives a very natural look, and I'm going to put it like this. I mean, if you put two flowers like this, okay, and at the same point if you put two flowers like this, definitely this one is going to look pretty because that is more natural. So try to create a more natural look. You know, you don't have to be very defined with your um, compositions. Like I generally sometimes I really forget like what words to use because like my vocabulary is not that great in terms of craft, but I really hope you guys are getting the gist of what I'm trying to say, right? So you know, always try to integrate compositions and something which is just filled with a lot of detailing. And sometimes, see, now for example, people always tell me, oh, the flower which you used is half hidden, then what's the use? It is such an expensive flower. The thing is, the beauty is that a little peak of the flower is going to complete your look, you know. It's not always important to have your look, like to have the entire flower show up on your project. Like the idea is to create very nice, defined and natural look. The more natural your project looks, the better it is going to look. So now on to next thing. So these are these stems which I buy from Michael's, and you can find at any store which sells artificial flowers. I always buy them, like these different kinds of ferns and not flowers, but basically the fillers, you know, leaves and ferns and all these things. And I either use them as my photo props, or I usually, you know, just add them as fillers. Like for example, here I'll just add it like a leaf, but this side already there's a leaf, so I'm going to add it this side. Okay, so for this side, what we are going to do is we are again going to build a beautiful composition, and I think I'll go with something like this, or maybe a little flatter flower will look better. Yeah, this one looks a little better than the other one. Okay, and for this one, let's use these flowers, and I'm just going to twirl it a little bit so that it's more natural and it looks nice, you know, with these little details which you put. Just entangle them both. Okay, and now simply stick this one up, and then we'll stick the rest later so that we can hold these two together. And let's see, I think I'll go with this one. This one looks better. And again, try to tuck them into each other, and let's add this particular dye here. Okay, okay. To give it more fuller look, there are little things like these threads which I use in my layouts, all my mixed media stuff. I just take a round of this, like something like this, and then just cut them. And I usually tuck them in. For example, I'll tuck this one here. And when I click pictures, detailed pictures with my DSLR, you can actually see these little details. Okay. Now let's embellish it a little bit more. So the next step which I'm going to do is try to find some dye, some resin piece which I can put here. So let's see this beautiful key. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here, and I just don't want to hide it, so I'll put it like this. So I'll just add a little bit of glue on the flowers, and I will add it here. Yeah, it's a normal thread, Nandini, a very regular thread which you can find at any store. It's a little thicker than the usual one, like it's a good quality thread, but it's very easy to find. So it's black and white, which I always keep, and I use them. Okay, now on to embellishing it a little bit more. So these are the butterflies which I made by hand, and you can actually find the video if you scroll down and see all my videos. It's one of the most viewed videos which I have, and I love butterflies. Like there was this time where none of my projects used to be complete without adding a butterfly. So and I can see that this butterfly specifically goes with this particular piece, and I'm going to add this over here. Okay, we'll build our project slowly, and this is like I said, this is the impromptu one for me. It's not something which I was pre-prepared with, but yeah, I still enjoy making it. Let's add one butterfly here, and this would balance it out. And one more thing, guys, just use glue gun to stick everything. Don't use these foam. Like I used to use them, and some of my layouts which are old, like 2 years old, 1 year old, they would just come off. These foams, they lose their adhesive with time. So there's no point using something which would lose their adhesive, right? Okay, so now we are done with the corners of the tray, and let's do the center. Okay, so for center, I had this idea of putting a beautiful frame here. Okay, and this is again by Prima. And what I wanted to do currently, guys, I'm obsessed with these molds by Prima, and I love making these molds, guys. Like I just enjoy making my clay pieces out of these molds. There was this time when Prima used to sell resin pieces, and they were so expensive. Like for $5 you used to get like 2 pieces. Like I'm talking about these, they were definitely very beautiful, but with this whole mold thing which they have, they've kind of solved the problem, of expensive clay pieces or resin pieces. Okay, so I have this particular idea which is basically a tray saying, be brave, and this is the composition which I want to go with. And what we will do is that we are going to paint these 3 pieces with a lot of mediums, acrylic paints and stuff, and we're going to complete our tray. Or we can just put this here, and in the center it can have wings, and they say be brave. Okay, in ideal land I would want this frame to be a little smaller, but I've run out of those, so I'll just go with this one. Okay, so the round frame is from Prima. It's a clay mold, it's a clay resin. It's not a resin, it's basically a clay piece. If I touch it, it doesn't look like resin at all. It's clay piece, and it was like for $5 I got 2 pieces, 2 sizes. Okay, and these molds, what composition do you put? I always get up. Okay, for cracks, let me quickly show you guys how I make my molds. Okay, so I can make up a tutorial, and I can quickly show you also that how I do it in case you are interested. Okay, so for mold, what I do, these are my molds. Okay, no, not with Prima clay, guys. I don't use Prima clay because it's true, they do crack. They might have improved the composition now, but about 2 years back when they just came out with it, I got it and I was not very happy with it. So this is my mold. Okay, and I have bought my clay from Amazon. Let me show you. And I always keep my clay in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't get dry out. And this method has worked the best for me. And it's called Clean, Do and Dry modeling material. It can be easily found in any of the stationery shops, arts and craft shops. And it's very soft, very easy. And I generally roll it like this, make a pipe, okay, and then just go about like this, okay. It's very easy, like it doesn't even need its own tutorial because it's so simple. And then using my hands, like you can use a brayer to flatten it out, but I think my hands are my best tool. I just stretch it out. Yeah, this is air dry clay, dear, and it takes about 18 hours to dry, this particular one. And see, I just fill all the holes, and by tomorrow it will be ready. So pretty simple. This is how I make all these, and I keep them in collection, like I keep them in huge stock so that I can use them anytime I want to later, okay. They're always handy. So let's get back to the tray, and here we are. Now let's color this particular piece with some beautiful art alchemy paints. And I will keep this one a little bit away, and I'm going to put all my paints over here. Are these heavy when dried? Yeah, they are heavy. They really hold up well. I just love the result of these particular molds, this particular clay. And it's very easy to find them. Like you can always use light clay also if you prefer. Okay, now let's go forward, and now let's do painting, okay. So again, the whole composition is very romantic, right? So we will do one thing, is that we are going to make our wings a little darker color, something of this color, like this particular gold color, which for which I'm going to use ancient coin. Uh, it's a gold color paint. Let me put all the paints here so that you can see what I'm going to be using. And so for these three colors I'm going to use for wings, okay. So let's see, guys, how it turns out. And this one I'm not filming, and so I can't cut off the footage. So if it doesn't turn out pretty, guys, everyone does mistake, so that can be a good example for you all. So let's go forward and paint it. So for painting, I bought these trays, these paint trays. I never use them. Like I bought disposable ones, small ones, so that I can use them, but I never use them. I end up using the lid. Like I don't get it, like why there is always so much paint on the lid. Like I never understood this part. Okay, so woohoo, let's get started. Okay, I need to clean my hand, and for cleaning, guys, baby wipes, they are best. Use them. Use these baby wipes. They don't have any synthetic in them. There's no harmful material in them. They're used for babies' bumps, and they're perfect for your hands when you're crafting. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to take a small brush. Okay, this one, this size, okay. And I will put a lot of, I'll put some water in this particular color that's painted with gold first, because I want gold to show up. See, such a good quality paint, guys. Like it's really good quality. These art alchemy paints are like amazing. And guys, I'm not just saying this because I want to promote this brand, like Prima really does come up with good stuff. Like their quality is amazing, like anything which they make sure they put special focus on quality. Let's paint this and try to go everywhere, like at every part. And okay, this is good. Let's paint this one. Okay, so my wings look really nice and they go well with my whole composition. So I'm gonna set them dry. And now let's think about what to paint the inside frame with, because that really needs painting. We cannot put it white. Okay. Ah, it is so hard to work in a messy desk. So the molds are again by Prima Marketing, and they are their IOD range. Uh, you should check out Crafters Corner in India, and in US, Michaels also has them. Okay, let's paint this one, and I'm gonna paint it with some pink color. Ooh. Let's do this color. Okay, so we're gonna paint this very nicely. Um, Same technique. Yeah, molds are from Prima. Yeah, they should have it for sure. So this particular frame was hollow, and I have added this Be Brave paper. So I'll be a little careful while I'm painting this. So always start from the lightest color. Never start from dark color, because on dark it's hard to put light. So always start from the light color, and it should look good. I'm hoping so. Otherwise my heart will break, because these frames are so expensive. Okay guys, so we are painting this up. Be very careful while you paint it. And this particular one, I want it to be light. I don't want it to be very dark. We're gonna add some waxes to it to define those beautiful look, like just to define all the integrate parts. Now let's move on to the darker shade. I don't think I'll go with this one. This is way too dark for this. Let's go with this one, and I'm gonna put some more water in it, and then we are going to darken the entire frame. Just at places, so that it gets a very nice shaded effect. Okay, so on this, why do you prefer? Okay, what is the difference between them and those spray? Okay, I used to be a spray girl, guys. I used to use sprays so much, but eventually I started loving these paints, and the reason is that with sprays, the bottles are not at all of good quality. Like the spray nozzle is not at all of good quality, I've noticed. And it's not the problem of manufacturers. The paint, like if you don't use a particular color for a longer period of time, the paint, the paint would stuck, like the paint would dry. And then when you use them, they're uncontrollable. Like I'll spray it, and I want it to be sprayed in a particular manner. It would never go into that particular spot. It is way too abstract for me. So that is why I've started loving these paints, because I have more control over these paints. And guys, I use my fingers so much, you have no clue. Like, you'll see my latest video in which I'm talking about to control my paint, control my colors. I use my fingers a lot. They are your best tools. Like, they're the best paint brushes you can ever buy or have. Like, these are natural paint brushes. Okay, so my frame is ready, and now we will just shut these off because I don't want them to dry. Recently, one of my paint bottles, actually this one, you will see the level is pretty low. It fell on my carpet and it spoiled it. So be very careful. Do they dry out? They generally don't. I've never seen them drying out. I've been using them for a long period of time. Basically, ever since they came out with this, so they don't dry out. Just keep them all, like, just uh, close the lid nice and tight. They would not dry out, and never lay them like this. Just keep them upright. And what I do is that I generally cut out a small circle and put a small piece over here so that I can see it from the top of my drawer, that which color it is. Okay, so let's see if this is dry. These two are yet to be dried. So how about we start putting stones? Okay, I do have a heat tool, but if I start my heat tool, you guys won't be able to talk to me. Like, it's impossible to listen once that heat tool is on. I'm wondering when they're going to come out with a heat tool which doesn't make noise. So the next thing which we have is this soft matte gel. Okay, this is again a very, very, very important ingredient. They Prima has basically, I think they have multiple types of gels. Okay, they have a 3D gel, they have a heavy body gel, they have a soft matte gel. Essentially, they are kind of same. What I have felt, not exactly same, but heavy body gel is good if you're sticking metal pieces. 3D gel is good if you're sticking, something 3D, maybe flowers, something which is lightweight. And soft matte gel is good for something which is super light. For example, art stones, the small ones. So currently, I just have soft matte gel and 3D gloss gel. Whichever bottle comes, whichever bottle is near to me, I end up using that. But if you work with a lot of metals, you would clearly see the difference, what I'm talking about. Okay, now let's take some of this soft matte gel, and to give our whole canvas a very natural look, our tree a natural look, we are going to put some art stones. Okay, and I know these are the places where for sure my art stones can go, and we are going to put some art stones on our frame too. Okay, okay, and then just going to go and put art stones on them. Okay, so for art stones, these are the two sizes which I use the most. One is mega and one is the normal one, the middle size. Okay, and buy them. Like, blind eye, buy these two because they are the best inventions by Prima Marketing. Yeah, I think so. They do deliver worldwide. I'm not sure about it, but these things you can find anywhere. Go to scrapbook.com if you have trouble finding it in India. They do deliver it international. Go to scrapbook.com, go to Simon Says Stamp, Frantic Stamper. There are many websites. I mean, you should not have trouble finding these materials because, one thing which is very good about Prima is that they have a very nice global presence. Their products are found everywhere. I'll tell you a very funny story. Okay, so these Prima flowers, they are kind of discontinued now. It's impossible to find them. Okay, uh, so these Prima flowers in US I couldn't find any. Okay, so I ordered them from a Russian website because I just wanted them, and if I want something, I want something. So they have a very good, global presence. So don't worry about it. You'll be able to find these. Okay, and just tell your local craft stores, they can get them for you. They do have access to all the wholesaling. And I always use this tray so that I don't waste. I feel we should add some more stones so that they look much more prettier. Okay, this looks better. Okay, we're going to paint this also once this is dry. Okay, now let's go here. I'm not using the heavy body gel. I mean, ideally I should have used the 3D gloss gel for these stones because I'm using a lot of them, but they'll take time to dry, so that is why I'm using these. Okay, so we're gonna add these stones. Always have a tray like this, which I'm using right now. You'll save your embossing powder, you'll save your micro beads, you'll save your glass glitter and whatnot. Okay, so whew, okay, let's make some space here so that I can actually create. Okay, so I think we are good with art stones for now. We'll add more if we need, and let's see how everything looks so far. Okay, this looks nice. It's a little too dark. This gold color has come out to be a little too dark, but we're gonna make it light. We can make it work. Okay guys, so this will be our final composition. I'm gonna remove this butterfly from here. I'm gonna add it somewhere over there because I want my wings to look nice. So let's add these parts, okay, and then we'll make it more subtle because I think the purple is looking very dark. Right in the center, and let's add the wings. Okay, the wings are added now, and now we are going to do a lot of dry brushing, a lot of coloring, because guys, the frame and the wings, they don't go at all with the frame, like with the whole tray. The whole romantic feel of it is now gone. So for that, just take your dry gesso, okay, just take some gesso and take a dabbing brush or any regular brush, or just use your hands, dilute it and splatter it all over. This would dry out and it would look pretty, trust me. Tomorrow when I'll post the pictures of this particular project, it's gonna look nice. Don't worry. I'm not very happy with the wings and the centerpiece, but let's try to work with it and make it nice. Once they dry, they look a little bit more subtle rather than so prominent. Okay, this looks a little better, but more work can be done on this one. let's add some color on these stones, and for that I'll use my heat gun and dry it. I know this is a very boring part and I may lose a lot of viewers right now, but that's the only way I can dry this whole thing out. Okay, so it's a little bit of dry. To make it a little better, I'm going to take some pink color. I'm going to add to it. I really don't like this particular frame, to be very honest, guys. I don't feel it is going very well, but we are going to make it better. Yeah, this is pretty. Okay, so this looks a lot better and I am very much satisfied with this now. And the next thing which I will do is that I'm going to add some glass glitter to it, or any kind of glitter is doable if you don't have glass glitter. And I'm going to add some golden glass glitter to my frame. Simple step, just add it. Because the paint is still wet, it is going to stick. Again guys, this was an impromptu live video. If I had prepared before, it could have been a little bit better, but nevertheless, I like sharing my work, I like sharing my mistakes with you all. And let's add this butterfly and we should be almost done. Yep. I want to color these stones at the background. The paint is not at all dry, guys, so it's a little, the paste, the soft gel is not dry, so it will take time. But using water, I dilute it and I basically spread my paint. Okay, so this is it, guys. I think we are done with our beautiful altered tray. Very simple project, very impromptu, and I hope you guys have enjoyed making this tray with me. If you did, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and I'll just, if you have anything to say, just say it right now, and I'm gonna just stop the live streaming in like about 2 minutes. Okay, I think I've probably lost everyone. Okay, so Rosa is here. Okay, thanks Rosa for staying here throughout the session. I really hope I was able to help you with some good ideas. And thanks Drishti so much. Thank you Nandini for being here and seeing a beautiful live stream. And I see River City, Sindhu, everyone. Guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. And I really hope to inspire you all with more and more videos. And I'll come up with more live videos. I really enjoy making live videos over the regular videos because I think talking is my hobby and I love talking. Okay, so that's it, guys. Have a great day. If you have any questions, you can email me. My email is there in the about section of my channel, and you can ask me any questions on any of my social media. You can add me on Facebook. I would love to add you guys on my Facebook, and don't hesitate. And that's it. Join me again, and good evening and good night for me, and good night for others also who are on this part of the world. Bye bye. Take care.